What's up, everybody? We are going to get into this whole BlueAnon thing and talk about it. But first, let me say what's up to the people. What's up, Kay? What's up, Andrea? Thank you for being here. I see more people coming in the room now. I know it takes a minute to get the alerts and the notifications, all that good stuff. Um, Before we start, I just kind of want to explain what BlueAnon is. So y'all know how years ago it was that QAnon. Basically, they're the people who started the whole Pizzagate with Hillary Clinton and all those things. So they were like the right wing conspiracy theory group, right? Now, moving to now, a lot of people on the left or liberals or Democrats have this whole conspiracy about the election. Like, how the hell did it go in Donald Trump's favor? And not that he won the electoral college, he also won the popular vote. And for a lot of us who were rooting for Kamala, we were all like, well, what were y'all looking at? What were y'all reading? So, a lot of people are trying to come to grasp. What's up, Ahaha? What's up, Couture Bay? A lot of us are trying to come to grasp with reality and what happened. Now, like I said, do I consider myself a BlueAnon conspiracy theorist? Yeah, in short, but I think there's a lot of questions. I feel like, as far as, all right, well, with the Michigan and Wisconsin, the votes were, I don't want to say off, but she didn't lose by that much. Like, if we go ahead and take a look at it, I have Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan, right? So here we go. This is Nevada. Nevada, it was 751,000 to 705,000 votes. So that's about a difference of like 46,000, right? In Nevada. This is Wisconsin. When we look at Wisconsin, it was 1,667,000 and then versus 1,697,000. So that was about a 30,000 difference, right? About 30-29, right? We then look at Michigan. Michigan, it was 2,804,000 versus 2,724,000. So that was about 80,000 votes. And then, of course, you have Pennsylvania, so forth, so forth. But these were the swing states that I wanted to point out. She didn't lose by that much. So people are coming to grasp like, okay, maybe the race was a little bit closer than what we thought. Um, of course, Pennsylvania, Trump won that by over 100,000. So you can't dispute that. However, in Pennsylvania, for those of you who don't know, they already started the recount on there. So, because the governor race between McCormick and Casey, that one is like only like 0.5%, I believe, is the difference. So they're doing a recount on that one. And even though the Republicans have the Senate, right, it's still very close. Even that small little win, if Casey is able to pull it off, it does help the Democrats. Now, also with Kamala's speech, which I'm going to pull up here right now. See, let's not deny that. She did go ahead and concede. However, her speech sounded like there was more left. Like there was more left to be seen. It gave this message of hope, which I think concession speech are supposed to give, a message of hope. But it seemed like there was something still there. And a lot of people have dissected her words and believe there's a hidden message behind it. Honestly, when I first heard it, I didn't think there was a hidden message. What I took it as was, oh, I'll be back in 2028. That's what I more or less took it as. What did you guys take it as? Did you guys take it as, oh, there's, she's sending subliminals, or did you take it as she's coming back in 2028? I took it that she was coming back in 2028. But let's go ahead and take a listen to it right now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
Okay. So according to the BlueAnon conspiracy theorist, when she says, as long as we keep fighting, so it's giving hope that the fight is still continuing. This is what people are dissecting from it.
To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue. And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it, Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future. And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition. And
Now, I want to say this. She did say that she conceded and she accepts the results of the election. So she didn't say anything to lead to that she didn't believe it or it wasn't real or legit. I wanted to point that out. She never said that it wasn't legit.
that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
There we go. And so people are taking that and all like, oh, that means she's still fighting. People are, wanting that hope that, okay, something is happening behind the scenes. Something is happening. That's the way that people took it. Even though she says she does concede, but she doesn't concede the fight.
The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body and not have their government telling them what to do. We will never give up the fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence. And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld.
So I don't remember the Hillary Clinton concession speech, but with this one, it what people are grasping for is that, oh, she's saying that they're still going to fight. It's not necessarily she is going to fight. What she's trying to tell us is don't give up the fight, like keep going, because let's be honest, a lot of people feel like, oh well, shit, it's all going to be over with, it's done. And what she's trying to do is give that inspiration of hope, like keep going, keep fighting. But again, the BlueAnon, which I guess I'm a part of the BlueAnon group, believe that, oh, that means she's fighting behind the scenes and she's giving us hints. And not, y'all see where it's coming from? I told y'all, we're going to break down the history and try to get people to understand where the whole BlueAnon conspiracy theory thing is coming from.
And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, but like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it. To the young people who are watching, it is, I love you.
Please hit the like button or the dislike button. It doesn't matter to me. Just hit the like button.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important...
Okay, and what she meant by the fight, she mean like the next couple of years, keep fighting. But again, people are taking that as, oh, that means she's still fighting. Listen, y'all didn't vote for this lady. She about to enjoy her life for a minute, She about to, y'all already seen her sipping her wine, playing Connect 4 with her nieces. She done fighting for right now. She gonna take a break after this whole, season is over with. When her job is over on the 20th, she taking a break.
The thing is, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place.
Oh, Miss Yolanda, I see them, Miss Yolanda. Don't even trip. I love it. I bring it on. I love it. I always drop the link for them to come up, but they never do.
Have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before. You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives, people who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand. to fight for justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the
Pay attention.
stars. I know many people feel like we are in
I'm gonna rewind that.
Can you see the stars?
Because a lot of people are taking this part.
Society
I'm
across
gonna
the
rewind
ages.
it.
The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars.
Only when it is dark enough you can see the stars. And a lot of the people of the BlueAnon community, which I'm a part of, a lot of people of the BlueAnon community believe, oh, that was a hidden gem right there. Like that means something. And I was all like, no, I like I don't know, but I don't think it mean anything. But you know, it's just a saying or not freedom of expression, but a figure of speech or something like that.
I
Because
know
we are
many
in some
people
dark
feel
times.
like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service. H.U. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you.
Okay. Now they also point out her walk away. Oh, damn. It didn't show it. Okay, never mind. All right, it didn't show her walk away. But the walk, they said like the walk that she gave more left to be desired or something like that. But I think the walk away was like, I'm done with this shit. That's what I think the walk away was. All right. So where is all this coming from, and why are people still pushing? Because the Harris Fight Fund, if you were a Democrat or registered as a Democrat, you've been getting these emails, and it's the Harris Fight Fund. This was at 10:04 a.m. my time. It says, Andre, here are the three things you need to know right now. Donald Trump is going on a hiring spree, appointing loyalists who will do his bidding, like Matt Gaetz and RFK Jr. There are still races that are either too close to call or within the margin of recounts. Three, we're ready to defend those races, but that is going to take resources, so we're relying on you today. So she is still asking for, or the campaign is still asking for money for the recounts. So, just like I said with Casey and McCormick in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of like House races that are still in the process of recounts and being contested and stuff like that. So, you have that. And it's been a lot of emails being sent out. Let me see if I can find another one. Damn, did I delete them all? Hold on, let me just put in Kamala in my email. Put a one in the chat if you guys been getting those emails about donate for the recount. Okay. Here was one from the other day. Andre, there is anything we can say to convince you to make a contribution to support the Harris Fight Fund program today? Please, let us try. First and foremost, we want to acknowledge the fear, confusion, and sadness many of you are feeling at this moment. But what if we told you that as you read this, there are races that are either too close to call or within the margin of recounts or certain legal challenges? what if we told you that they all need our help to get across the finish line? And what if we told you that your support today will help make sure we succeed and recount every vote in these final races? So again, it's more of the emails asking for money, and people are all like, "Oh, see, they're gonna do a recount. They're gonna do this. Gonna do that." Now, the recount essentially will recount all the votes, but the recounts are really for these House races and these Senate races to see, to make sure they have enough funds to recount those. Essentially, yeah, it does help Kamala, but necessarily that doesn't mean that she's still fighting. Like she's still, she thinks that the election is rigged. I want to make that clear. Let's be clear. She's not saying that the election is rigged. Like it's just saying that there's races too close to call. We need money, we need funding to do that because basically the party that's contesting it is the one that has to pay for the recount. Uh, Another thing, I want to talk about the witches and the astrologers. Let's start out with Sloan Bella because remember Sloan had said initially she did not see the election happening, right? And then when Kamala took place, she was all like, "Oh, Donald Trump is going to win." But her initial was that she didn't see the election happening. Um, so a lot of people are sticking with that because it's something about Uranus going into Pluto and through the 15th through the 19th. I've been on edge and I know a few other people have been on edge, but the 15th through the 19th of this month, there's supposed to be something that happens. So let me just throw out a few of the conspiracies. One, Trump cheated or something happened with Elon Musk and something going on with the Russians. All that is put in the bubble, right? And we're going to come back to all that too, right? Two, Biden, damn, how do I say that? How do I say this? Biden is going to kick the bucket and Kamala is going to have to step in and be president. Three, might be World War III, and then the martial law and all that stuff might happen, and then Joe Biden ends up still staying president, and then Kamala ends up taking his place because Biden ain't got too much longer, allegedly. Then another one is Trump ends up going to jail or something happens to where he's disqualified from being president. But I think if he's disqualified, I think that automatically goes to JD Vance. But they're saying that there's going to be like a special election. And so all these astrologers have these ideas. But one thing about astrology, as I understand, is that it's not necessarily something that's going to happen on the 19th, but the 19th will be the start of whatever's to come in the next months. So a lot of people have been calling out these psychics and astrologers because they were saying that Kamala is going to win. They're all like, "Oh, you guys are fake phonies, blah, blah, blah," right? Well, then they're all like, "Well, we didn't say we seen Kamala winning the election. We said that she was going to be president." And so this is where the 15th, 19th, all that stuff came into play. And so there's and this is all on TikTok, by the way. So there's a battle between the astrologers and the psychics versus the ordinary civilians trying to figure out, like, okay, well, who's lying? What's going on? And it's been this whole shit going on, right? Um, Another thing that kind of leads into that is that if you have noticed, Trump is not really bragging like he used to brag. Remember when he beat Hillary Clinton? He was doing rallies and stuff like that. Even when he finally got into office, he was still doing rallies and shit. He's been quite silent. And he did have that meeting with Joe Biden at the White House, and Joe Biden was all smiling and cheers. That's because Joe Biden is senile. He don't know what's going on, right? So a lot of people were saying like, something doesn't feel right. Why is Joe Biden smiling? Like I said, he's senile. But some people see that as, "Oh, I'm gonna get you, like I'm gonna get your ass. I'm just playing it cool, but I'm gonna get you soon." That's what some people are taking it as. So again, um, I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going on, what's happening, if anything is happening. I'm just taking it that Trump is getting into office. But like I said, we're going to circle back to that whole Russia thing and everything like that. Because remember, in Arizona and a few other places, the ballot boxes were being burned. Now, I know, and you know, call me hypocritical, but I know it wasn't no Democrat burning the ballot boxes. And the guy who went to jail in Arizona, it was said that he was a Republican. Remember that? So a lot of people are saying, okay, that's not right. Then remember Georgia, they had the bomb threats. Now they said they were fake, but they said the bomb threats came from Russia. Remember that? So you got that. Then on top of that, um, just the whole how Trump was putting out there like, oh, this election was going to be fake or the election was going to be rigged and all this other like there was a lot going on to where he was putting it out like, okay, just in case I lose, I'm gonna already start telling people that the election is rigged and stuff like that. So now you have the Democrats taking in feeding into these conspiracy theories and stuff. Another thing that I want to mention, well, two things because I'm gonna play them both back to back together. Remember when Trump had initially stated that they had all the votes, like we don't need any more votes, they had all the votes. Then after that, Joe Rogan, after the election, Joe Rogan came and said something about like, yeah, Elon Musk had an app where he was able to tabulate the votes before they came, 4 hours before they came in. So this even further fed into the narrative. So let's go ahead and play that right now. Oh, hold on. There we go.
As far as the election is concerned, we're doing very well. You see we're up in the polls pretty substantially. They have a new thing, a new phenomena, and that's gambling polls. They call it the poly poll or something. I've never heard of it. PolyMarket. And we're, I guess, at 64 to 38, 36, something like that. So that's not bad. I don't know what the hell it means, but it means that we're doing pretty well. And we're the 64, by the way. Okay, just we don't.
Now, that goes into the PolyMarket because I even did a video about the whole PolyMarket situation where you had the CEO slash founder was he had that knock on that door, you know, that knock knock. Yeah, the FBI came, raided his place, took electronics, seized his phones, and then he ended up getting a new phone. Then he tweeted, "New phone, who this?" So the PolyMarket. Do I have his picture? By the way, hold on. Let me see if I got his picture. PolyMarket. Oh no, I don't have his picture. Oh shoot. Okay, but if you look at my uploaded videos, you'll see the video where I'm referencing. But they rated his place. Now, PolyMarket is a betting website. I don't know how they get their numbers and how they're able to figure stuff out, but basically, depending on how the betting is going, it'll tell you that this candidate has this percentage or that percentage. But basically, the map that Poly Market had posted was the same as the map that Trump won. So a lot of people are saying, okay, well, what's going on? Like, did he somehow know what was happening or did somebody cheat? How did he know the election results? Now, in America, you're not supposed to be able to bet on the election, and especially through Polymarket because it's not registered through the FCC. Only people overseas can. So if you're overseas, you can. And I know in America, technically, you can do it with a VPN, but that's illegal. So again, if there are Americans betting, then I can see why the FBI raided him. But let's not pretend that France isn't also looking into it because a French national actually put 28 million behind Trump winning the election. And now that person who put the 28 million, they used 4 different accounts to do it. So they bet it. I don't know how they split the 28 by 4, what they did, but it was 4 different accounts, but they put 28 million behind Trump winning. Again, France is looking into this. So it's only right that America looks into it too. Now, this doesn't mean that PolyMarket had anything to do with the election. But like I said in that video, and I'm saying now, follow the money. Now, a lot of people are saying that, and his name is Shane Copland, the founder, right? Shane Copland, oh, well, he just has the website. Why are they attacking him? They're trying to get him. This is some kind of retribution from the Biden administration. Well, here's the thing. He necessarily didn't come out as a Trump supporter, but Elon backed him. Elon had, PolyMarket was promoted on Twitter. The whole time was promoted on Twitter, had advertisements and everything like that. Elon even retweeted him. You seen Shane Copland at the RNC. He was pictured with Donald Trump Jr. So he got some kind of connection with them as far as he supports Trump. That's evident and that's obvious. Again, I can't get on here and say that he had something to do with the rigged election, but a lot of people are saying, well, was the app that Elon talking about that he the app, you know how Joe Rogan said the whole, oh yeah, he had some kind of app or something like that? Well, people are saying, well, was that the PolyMarket app? And how would a betting website know the results of the election? How would they know? So again, it leaves a lot to be desired, but this is where the whole BlueAnon conspiracy theorists and what everything is going on. Like, this is why people are thinking like something's not right. But I will tell you something. It all started like around 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, I'm finding out like a lot of people woke up and like seen the results of the election and was all like, oh, let me go back to bed. A lot of people woke up like in the middle of the night and seen it and was like, oh, this is some bullshit, right? Now, I want to mention something else. There's a guy named Steven Spoonermore, right? He's been sending letters to Kamala Harris, and from what he understands is that Kamala is not looking further into it. They're ignoring him. But he's claiming that the systems were hacked. Steven Spoonermore. And he's like a lifelong Republican, but he's claiming that he worked in technology and he believes somehow, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he believes that it was hacked. This goes back to Starlink, which is owned by Elon Musk. A lot of people are saying like, well, why was Starlink, connected to these polling places? Now, as far as the machines, they're supposed to be connected to like their own internet through a VPN so nobody can hack it. So a couple of things. They say that you cannot hack the machines. But do we believe that the machines can't be hacked or they can't malfunction? And then why was Starlink? That just seems like a conflict of interest. Like, what about Comcast? What do some of y'all have, like Cox.net or something like that? Wait, what's the other thing called in the other places? Like here in Northern California, it's called Comcast. Y'all have like we have Xfinity. Y'all have like basically what I'm trying to say, y'all, is why couldn't they use another internet provider? This is why some people are all like, well, in that case, we need the ballots to be counted by hand and not by machine. So that's something to also look at, and that's why people are like, yeah, something doesn't feel right. Like, out of all the people, this seems like a conflict of interest that he would have. And now knowing that he had some kind of third-party app to where he was able to tabulate it, well, how would he know that? Like, what app did he have? Still, Elon hasn't said anything. Now, if Elon comes out and be all like, well, technically, I just kind of seen the way things were going and it looked like he was winning. That's it. Boom. That's why I said, yeah, it's over. I left. Let me play it for you guys one more time for those of you just coming in. And again, Joe Rogan heard this from Dana White. And you know Dana White is the president of the UFC, right? Now it's funny that Joe Rogan would say this on his podcast, and like, I would just know that, oh, I shouldn't be sharing this information, but Joe Rogan don't give a at all. He don't give a flying. He just said it. I would have definitely confirmed with Elon, like, what app were you? Like, how'd you know this before just going out there and actually just saying this? Because again, now we're able to run with the conspiracy theories, right? And people have questions like, what app did he have? Like, why couldn't he wait like everybody? Like, did Trump have this app? Like, who had the app or who had the access to know what was going on? And especially, like I said, if some polling places are using whatchamacallit, are using Starlink, well, did Starlink have some kind of information and he had too close for comfort for a lot of people? That's what it really is. Too close for comfort. Now, I want to say this. I never really gave like a whole and by the way, people talking shit about me in the chat, your mama put pussy loose and your daddy dick fell off in hell when he was sucking the devil's dick, bitch. All right, continue. So, like now why y'all want to mess with me? Y'all really want to go toe to toe with me? Like who want to go toe to toe with AT2? Come on now. You know I'm slick with the tongue. You know I'm slick with the tongue. Like who won it? Like who won it right now? I'm just trying to figure out who won it right now. Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, I never gave my analysis of why Kamala lost or what went wrong or not. And the reason why is because y'all literally like Bernie Sanders, Nancy old ass Pelosi. Bernie Sanders is old as hell. Shut up. The, excuse me. They're all giving their analysis on why this and why that. It's all like, yo, literally, this lady just lost. Like, at least give her time. Like, y'all doing these deep dives and all these analysis, but honestly, no one was going to be able to help a dying campaign. The campaign was dying. Do you know what the biggest problem was? Trump had already been running for president, running for again, since he lost. He was already running for president, right? Already doing rallies, already getting donors and everything. Even with him having all these cases and stuff like that, he was still being prepared to be president. Joe Biden was sleeping the whole time in the White House. And then all of a sudden, he wanted to start doing rallies after he bombed that whole, why do I want to say rally? The whole debate. After he bombed that debate, that's when he wanted to start doing rallies, right? Then he drops out 107 days before the election and was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just put Kamala in there. And let's be honest, it was always said that nobody else wanted to step up because nobody wanted to deal with a dying campaign. The campaign was literally dying. Now there's all these talks about Biden could have did better than Kamala. No. A lot of people go like, why didn't Kamala fire Biden's campaign? That's at the last minute. You can't just fire a whole campaign and then just two things. Kamala couldn't fire the campaign. She had to stick with them and then get her own people, right? She couldn't just fire them. Secondly, for someone else to come and run for president and try to get a team together to try to do a primary, it's unrealistic. Like literally, they probably it probably would have took because it was like the 21st of July when he dropped out. It would have at least took to the end of August for it, or maybe even September, for them to actually find a new candidate. If they were going to do like a short little primary. Biden should have dropped out a long time ago. And I do think that even if Biden had dropped out, I do think that it would still have been Kamala. Just because, Again, Biden probably would have dropped out in March or something like that. It still would have been a short amount of time. Like when people run for president, run for office, like it takes a long time to get that shit together. And you have to have money. You have to have money. No one else was going to be able to get money that quickly. Kamala got over $1 billion. No one else would have been able to get that money that quickly. Because you know what would have happened if we were to do a short primary or something like that? There would have been a lot of money dispersed throughout all the candidates. Then they wouldn't have any money to run. That didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense at all. So with the short amount of time, yeah, it had to be her. Joe Biden literally gave her a limit and was like, oh, yeah, go ahead and work this out. And did he really help her? Not really. He didn't implement any policies, write any executive orders to try to help her. Like, he basically was all like, do your thing, dog. And I do think Biden is a hater. I think he was jealous of Kamala. I think he was mad because Kamala took his spot. And was all like, damn, I know he backed her up, but did he really want to do that? Or was he pressured to give up his spot? You know what I mean? Let's do a 30-second countdown real quick. Do you think Biden was jealous of Kamala Harris? Yes or no? Oh, okay. It kind of mixed. Okay. Pressuring him to quit isn't just. Okay. Okay, I see that. I see that. Okay. Okay, okay. Mmm. Okay. Oh, now y'all going hella fast. I can't keep up. Yeah, I honestly feel that. Well, a few things. I think a lot of people were jealous of Kamala. I feel like Gavin Newsom. Let me say this: Gavin Newsom, f you. Now that is my governor, but f you. Governor Newsom saying, "Oh, we're gonna put some things into place so Trump won't affect California." Blah blah blah, and he's talking about fighting for the people and all this stuff. Gavin Newsom is trying to run for president. Y'all all see that, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you see Gavin Newsom trying to run for president already. He got 2 more years and then he's out. He's already trying to run for president. He's trying to sneak in there. Old ass Bernie Sanders is jealous too. He wanted to be in that seat. Bernie Sanders wanted to be in that seat. And again, I don't think Bernie Sanders would have had a different outcome. I think the Bernie Sanders that would have beat Trump was in 2016. The new Bernie Sanders, no, that's not happening. No. Because we can't go from old to old. Like, that's not going to work. If Biden age was, we had to be worried about that, then we would have the same issue. It would have been the same issue. I think we got to let Bernie, all that Bernie stuff, we got to let that go. We have to let that go. Like, that time has passed. That's like asking for Hillary. The time has passed. It's too much. I'm going to go one step further. I don't think Gavin Newsom would have had a better shot. Bernie is an op, right, Couture Bay? Gavin Newsom wouldn't have had a better, because basically what they would do is play a commercial over and over and over again talking about the homeless. And they'd be like, do you want California to have a whole bunch of homeless? I'm telling you, it would not have worked in his favor at all at this short of notice. Now, again, I do believe Trump could have been beat by anyone if Biden had dropped out a long time ago. If he had dropped out, a year or two ago, that would have made better sense than a few months. You're basically handicapping somebody by only giving them 109 days, no matter who it is. Because again, people are mad at Joe Biden, which translates to people are mad at the Democrats. It didn't matter. If it was a Democrat, they would be angry at that person. Maybe would have fared a little better, but to say win, yeah. Because let's be honest, everybody go like, oh, if it was this candidate versus Trump, would they have won? It would all say yeah. Didn't Kamala say if she ran against Trump, she would win too? Are we trusting polls? The polls said that Kamala was going to win. The polls said that Hillary Clinton was going to win. So do we really trust polls? Just because the poll said, oh yeah, this person would win, do we trust that? No, we can't trust it, right? So we don't know. But like I said, 109 days to run for president, yeah. Something else that we don't talk about was, remember I told you guys from the beginning, I was like, y'all don't care about foreign policy. Y'all don't care about foreign policy, but didn't I tell y'all Palestine, that whole issue was going to be a problem? I told y'all that was going to be a problem. And it was. It was a problem. Now you see all those pro-Palestine people saying, don't vote for Genocide Joe. Don't vote for genocide. Either vote third party Jill Stein or vote for Trump. And now those same the pro-Palestine people, because I can't even say it's the Palestinians, like the people that live in Gaza. It's the pro-Palestine movement now all of a sudden crying all like, oh, Trump told us this and that. But Marco Rubio already said he's gonna, Gaza ain't gonna be no more. And the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but now they're moving into the West Bank, that little area within Israel. They're moving on to the West Bank. So what really happened? What's really going down? Were y'all really that concerned? Or do you want this pro-Palestinian movement to just be a play and just, mess with people's emotions, get them angry, and have something to run on? Because, yeah, if people are still angry, I can still grift and make money and be like, pro-Palestine, and they know that Trump is not going to fix that issue over in Palestine. If anything, yeah, Mike Huckabee, thank you. They know if anything, it's going to be worse under him. But if they actually cared about the pro-Palestine Gaza, the West Bank, they would have told y'all, hey, y'all need to vote for Kamala. At least we can work from within instead of trying to work from out. Now, this is what you got. This is what you got. Don't worry, y'all. We're about to end it in a minute. Trust me, I see the trolls. But yeah, this is what we got. So, again, I kind of just wanted to explain where the whole BlueAnon movement came from. What the hell is going on? Why? Hold on. Let me fix something real quick. Hold on. I wanted to explain where the movement came from, why people are going with this BlueAnon conspiracy theory. And here's the thing. I don't care if people are running with the BlueAnon conspiracy theories. This is why. Ain't nobody tore up the Capitol. Ain't nobody trying to break into the Capitol. MAGA, they was trying to break into the Capitol. To me, that's the difference right there. Compared to someone just saying I don't like the results of the election. I feel that something is wrong with it. Blah blah blah. Compared to people actually busting down the Capitol, and then you also have the president cheering y'all on, telling y'all to break down the. Come on now. There's a slight difference. There's a slight. No, let me be clear. Not a slight difference. There's a huge difference. Okay. So I went ahead and switched it to subscriber only. So now, my people who are subscribed, you should be able to comment now. Put a 1 if you can comment now. Y'all should be free. Them trolls was going ham. Yo, them trolls was going ham. Okay, yeah. Now y'all free. Okay, yeah. I went ahead and changed that. I know we had like 1,000 people in here at one time, so yeah, I know the chat was going crazy. Y'all know I don't care. I just be going a lot. I just be going straight at it, giving my content, and then be boom. Okay, I can see y'all. Bama, Kay, Katorbe, Kiki, Teresa, Denitria, April. Okay, I see y'all. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I was all like, okay, we got to stop this. You're welcome, Prissy. No problem. Yeah, it was a little too crazy. When I started seeing like the watermelon and the monkey, they started putting watermelon and monkey emojis in the chat. I was like, okay, I gotta block them. Okay, here we go. Right, Denise? Too many. But anyway, y'all, as long as nobody's busting down the Capitol, continue BlueAnon. I am a proud BlueAnon member. All right, you guys, let me know what you guys thought about the show. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I didn't get any super chats or cash apps or anything like that, but if I do later, I always thank you guys. I love y'all. We out.